All right. Game is a game. 30 teams, 30 missing. Excuse me. Game is a game. 30 teams, 30 minutes. Uh, when I'm solo, 10 to 15 minutes. When I got help, uh, 30 to 20 minutes. Uh, this league NBA is hilarious. All right, so I'm gonna do OKC right now. So Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's go ahead and put 10 minutes on the clock. They're the 10th seed currently in the West, 5-5 in their last 10 games. This team has been middling all year. I thought this definitely would be a team that would be in prime position to be tanking. It just didn't seem that they can. It looks like they're tank proof. They have a lot of good players on their team, and we'll talk about it in a minute what I think they should do with them. Shea Gillis Alexander, he's been playing great as the number one guy. 21, 5-5, shooting over 50% from the field, a good clip from three with a healthy amount of threes a game. So, as a Thunder fan, you definitely have to be enthusiastic that you have a building block for the future. But first and foremost, I got to talk about Lou Dort. I ended the OKC season preview talking about Lou Dort and how he impressed me defensively. Just for the fact I've never seen anyone guard Harden the way that he guarded him, the way that he defended him, just his strength, his lateral quickness, his tenacity. It was just tremendous. I've never seen anyone defend anyone like that. And I've heard comps of him like he's the new Tony Allen, but he's a little bit more diesel than Tony Allen. Now, shout out to the grandfather. No disrespect to him. I don't want no beef with Tony Allen. He has a record of handling business when it comes to disrespect. So no disrespect to him, but Lou Dort, man, he's built like a tank, man. And I've heard that he probably has the greatest contract in the league, 4 years, a little bit over 5 million. And I just want to talk about that briefly. It I don't. Why is it considered a good contract when someone's being criminally underpaid, but a bad contract when someone is being quote unquote overpaid? Why is Russell Westbrook, a star in this league, a ticket seller in this league, considered a bad contract, but you have Lou Dort, a young man in this league who's never played anything, never made any money. He's getting paid 4 years for 4 years, $5 million, and somehow that's a good contract. It just shows how anti-player, quote unquote, this uh, players league is at times. Why is that a good contract for someone being criminally underpaid? Like, why are you against the worker? Why is it a bad thing when billionaires have to pay, quote unquote, a player more than their rate, but a good thing when they don't? Like, I don't understand that. But to get back to Lou Dort, the defense is still there, but now the offense is there. He's shooting 43% on threes, almost 6 threes a game, leading the team, statistically tied with Al Horford with the most attempts on the team per game. So it's not like he's doing this on a low volume. He's putting them up there, six a game. Um, I saw them play Brooklyn a couple weeks back, and Baisley was on KD, and I believe he was guarding. I can't remember who he was guarding, but I would like to see how does this Lou Dort thing, transcend to just guards? Can he guard fours? And I believe he can, especially for a player like Kevin Durant. I've mentioned that type of defender is the defender actually that gives him trouble. They had Baisley on him, and you can't out length Kevin Durant. Contesting and playing with length, that's not the way you defend. I think you have to get up into him, play with strength, crowd him, get into his dribble, get into his shooting pocket. But I would definitely like to see that in the next stretch of games. They play a lot of marquee players, so I want to see that. Diallo, you have to be, if you're a fan of the Thunder, you have to be really excited the way that he's played. He definitely looks at worst a swing player, a rotation player, and at best he looks like he could possibly be a starter. He's a tremendous athlete, so that's another player to keep your eyes on. Negatives, still super early, but kind of disappointed in my guy Baisley. Baisley, I said, reminded me of Lamar Odom with his size, his length, his package, his smoothness on the court. And he's just shooting ghastly. He's shooting, I think, 35% from the field. 30 from three, has a lot of single digit point games. Like he had 3 points in 25 minutes versus the Lakers. So, it's been struggle bus with him a little bit. But he's still super young. It's still super early. So you can't really fault it, but I would like to see more from him. Justin Jackson, another player that I was intrigued in since he's been in North Carolina, just liked his shooting, thought he could maybe, become a 3 and D type player of the, Danny Green type mold, another fellow North Carolina alumnus. And, it just hasn't come to fruition yet. But once again, it's still early in the season. Now he's an older player. So, maybe, I need to give up that dream. But I think that they need to trade. Like I said, this game, they're not really tanking in the way that I thought they would. This is a great draft. You have 6 or 7 players who people feel are worthy, would have been worthy of the #1 overall pick in this draft. So you have these, superstar talent players. They would be perfect to pair with a Baisley, with obviously SGA and a Dort. Now you're starting to have a makings of a team that could do some things. So, the draft structure has kind of changed to where it doesn't really favor teams as much, but I do think they need to go for as much possibility as possible. I do think the top 3 seeds do have still have a statistical better opportunity still have a better statistical opportunity than everyone else. So I think they need to be going for that. They need to be focusing on that. And, that means that they need to do that sooner or later. So I do think they need to midfield, moving Horford. There's a lot of teams that need big man, need defensive presence. I mentioned on the Utah session 3 that this is the revival of the big man. Slowly but surely, they're coming back. You have the Joker that you have to deal with down on the pivot. You have to deal with Joel Embiid down on the pivot. You have to deal with Giannis, who wants to play more in the post. Anthony Davis, obviously one of the top 3 players in the league. Slowly but surely, the big men are coming, and they're coming to score points now. They're not just playing that Tyson Chandler dive and I'm playing defense role. They're actually, getting buckets. Porzingis, Al Horford's a player that can help on that side of the fence. So I definitely think he's someone to trade for. And then George Hill, rock solid, still shooting the ball tremendously well. He definitely can help people. I think they need to be stripping this team of assets and really focusing on letting the young boys play. So they have the picks and everything to do it. I think, this definitely has to be a focus for them to make sure they're one of those seeds and get as many opportunities as possible to get a high pick, to get one of these superstar talents in this draft. I talked about Horford and Hill. What would you get if you trade Lou Dort? I mean, every team in the league could use a Lou Dort. What would you potentially get? I think that's something that, depending on what their timeline is and depending on the player. I mean, he's just such a good player. I'm saying it, but you can't trade him. You can't, if he's going to shoot the 3 like that and defend like he's defending, there's no, the improvement that he's shown from one year to another it's leaps and bounds what anything that I expected. I just wanted him to shoot maybe at a 35% clip. He's shooting 40s, like I said, with high value. If he can do it, if any, hey kids, I graduated. If you can get through anything, if Magic made it, if he can start shooting, then Ben Simmons can start shooting. So we'll see that. The arrow, I think, is pointed up. You definitely have to go arrow up right now. The future is bright. As far as games this week, they have back-to-back with the Clippers, Suns, Nets. I would like to see Lou Dort guard all these guys. I would like to see Lou Dort guarding Kawhi, Paul George. I want to see if he can guard Dame Lillard. I want to see if he can guard Booker. I want to see if he can guard KD. We already told you about his work on Harden, Kyrie. I'm going to see how far this is. He the wing defender of our generation? Is the new star born on the wing defense? Because I was kind of worried, where is it going? We haven't had a grindfather type in a while. Where is the defensive wing truly going? If you're thinking about 3 and D guys, got a lot of 3 guys. The D is this guy. The D is, and the 3 is looks like it's here. So I'm excited as hell to watch these matchups. This is NBA nerd stuff. I want to see what happens, and can he erase them? Can the legend of Lou Dort continue to grow? So OKC, 30 teams, 30 minutes. You have any questions, comments, concerns? Definitely leave them here. I'll respond to all of them. Gonna do every team every week, NBA nightly every night. I'm gonna do bet of the day. Check that out. Subscribe. 30 teams, 30 minutes. Get at me.